Hello everyone, my name is Sainadh and today we are going to conduct peer interviews which help us in learning and correcting ourselves for action plan and getting a job. First interview.
Hi Sainadh, welcome to the interview. Can you introduce yourself and share your background and interests?
Hello Karthik, thanks for having me. My name is Sainadh and I am currently pursuing my BTech from Vasireddy Venkatadri Institute of Technology in Computer Science. My hobbies are watching movies and listening to songs. My interests are learning new technologies like machine learning, and I often watch more documentaries regarding the technologies. And I'm interested in software development, particularly in the fields of artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Can you tell me about your project you worked on that you are particularly proud of?
One project that comes to my mind is a chatbot I developed using Python and NTLK library. I was responsible for designing and implementing the chatbot conversational flow.
That sounds impressive. How did you handle the errors and executions in the chat box?
I use try except blocks to catch and handle exceptions. I also implemented logging to track errors and improve the chatbot's performance.
Can you explain the concept of machine learning to a non-technical person?
Sure, machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence that enables computers to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. It's like how we can learn from experience and adapt to new situations.
How would you communicate the technological information to a team member who does not have a technical background?
I would try to use simple language and avoid technical more of a technical language. I would also use analogies and explain to help explain complex concepts.
Can you describe a situation where you had to communicate a difficult technical concept to your group of persons?
In one of my previous projects, I had to explain the concept of natural language processing NLP to a group of non-technical stakeholders. I used visual aids and simple language to help them understand the concept easily.
How would you handle the feedback or criticism on your work?
I try to be open minded and receptive to feedback. I believe that feedback is an opportunity to learn and improve myself. And I also try to use it to refine my work. Thank you.
Sainad, I really like how confidential you spoke about your chat box project. It shows that you are has been handling on the understanding how to build the something from the ground up. Your approach to the error handling and logging was solid. On things I suggest next time you discuss a project, try to bring the more details about the challenges you faced and how you overcome them, and that gives the more complete picture of your problem solving skills.
You did a great job balancing technical details with soft skills. It was refreshing to hear someone talking about machine learning and also emphasize communication and feedback handling. However, I felt you could have made your chatbot example more compelling by highlighting any real world results or user feedback you received. That would have added more weight to your experience.
You came across as calm and composed throughout the interview, especially when asked to explain technical concepts to non technical people. You did that very naturally and clearly. That said, I would have liked to hear more about how your work has had an actual impact. Like, did the stakeholders and end up using the chatbot? Or how did your NLP explanation help them make better decisions?
Okay. Thank you all for the valuable feedback. I really appreciate the positive comments, especially about my communication and technical clarity. I understand now that I need to dive deeper into the impact and challenges of my project when presenting them. I will make sure to highlight real world outcomes and share more detailed experience in the future interviews. This was very helpful, and I will definitely work on these areas to improve myself further. Thank you.
Hi Karthik, welcome to the interview. Can you introduce yourself and share your background and interest?
Hi Kumar, thank you for having us. I'm Karthik and I am a degree in the computer science. I am interested in software development, particularly in the field of the web development and web security.
Okay, it's fine. Can you walk me through your experience with agile development and methodologies?
I have worked on several projects that used Agile such methodology, including the sprints and Kanbans. I have particularly in a daily stand-up, spiriting the planning and res- restore expertise.
Okay, can you describe a situation where you had to work with a difficult team member or customer? How did you handle the situation?
One situation that comes to the mind is when I am working on a project with a team member who had different work style. That means we had to work together and complete the project. So I made sure to communicate clearly and respectfully with my team members.
Okay, how do you handle feedback or criticism on your work?
I try to open-minded and respect to the feedbacks. I believe that the feedback is an opportunity to the learn and improve and try to use refine my work.
Can you explain the concept of cybersecurity to a non-technical person?
Cybersecurity is a practice or protecting the system, network, and programming from the digital attacks. It was likely logging your house to prevent the bugs from the getting in.
Okay, it's fine. How would you communicate technically information to a team member who doesn't have any technical background?
I would try to use a simple language and avoid the technical jargons. I would also use the analysis and the example to explain complex concepts.
Can you describe a situation where you had to communicate a difficult technical concept to a group of people?
In one of my previous projects, I had explained the concept of encryption to a group of non-technical holders. I used a visual and it's simple language to help to understand the concept.
Okay. Karthik, I was impressed by your understanding of agile methodologies and how naturally you talked about your experience with Scrum and Kanban. It shows you have had particular practical exposure and understand the process well. One suggestion I had to give is when you talk about team challenges, try to highlight the resolution a bit more clearly. It is great that you focused on respectful communication. Maybe next time add how the impact that outcome or improve the relationship.
You came across as very composed and thoughtful in your answers. Your analogy for cybersecurity was spot on and made it relatable for a non-technical audience. A small area to work on when you explain past experiences, try to be a bit more specific about what you did learn or influence the outcome. It helps distinguish your role in the scenario.
Your communication skills are strong. You know how to break down complex topics like encryption in a way that's approachable. That's a valuable skill in cross functional teams. One thing to consider is including more real world examples or results when discussing your projects or problem solving. It makes your experience more tangible and memorable.
Thank you so much for this feedback. I am really glad to hear the communicating styles and knowledge of gaining. I definitely work on the providing the more and details outcome and focus of my specific role in this in team situation. These feedbacks give me the clear path and to improve, and I appreciate the construction suggestions.
Hi Kumar, welcome to the interview. Can you introduce yourself and share your background and interests?
Hi Sreshta, thanks for having me. I am Kumar. I am pursuing a degree in computer science. I am interested in software development, particularly in the fields of data science and analytics.
Can you tell me about the project you worked on that you have particularly proud of?
One project that comes to mind is data analytics tool. I developed using Python and Pandas. I was responsible for designing and implementing the tools, data processing pipeline.
Can you describe a situation where you had to work with a difficult team member or customer? How did you handle the situation?
One situation that comes to mind is when I was working on a project with a team member who had a different work style than mine. We had to work together to complete the project. So I made sure to communicate clearly and respectfully with my team member.
How do you handle feedback or criticism on your work?
I try to be open minded and res- receptive to feedback. I believe that feedback is an opportunity to learn and improve, and I try to use it to refine my work.
Can you explain the concept of data science to a non-technical person?
Data science is a practice of extracting insights and knowledge from data. It is like being a detective who uses data to solve mysteries.
How would you communicate technical information to a team member who doesn't have a technical background?
In one of my previous projects, I had to explain the concept of data visualization to a group of non-technical stakeholders. So I used visual aids and simple language to help them understand the concept easily.
Kumar, I really liked the way you explain your data analytics project. You clearly understand the technical side, especially working with Python and Pandas, and your role in building the pipeline was well articulated. Going forward, try to expand a bit more on the impact of your project, like who used the tool or what insights it helped generate. That kind of context helps us see the real world value of your work.
Your analogy of a data scientist being like a detective was simple and more effective. The great way to communicate a technical concept in a relatable way. One thing you might want to work on is personalizing your experience a bit more when discussing team conflicts. Share how your actions help to resolve them or resolve the issues or move the team forward.
You came across the claim and thoughtfully, which is great for analytical role. Your structured approach to communications make it easily to follow your thoughtful process. Consider including a metric or a concept outcomes when talking about the project or stakeholder communication. It helps to quality of contribution.
Okay, thank you for all the insights. I'm glad the clarity of my explanation and technical grounding came through. Now I realize that I need to highlight the impact and results of my work more effectively and provide more specific outcomes and when discussing collaboration or challenges. I will definitely work on the I will definitely work on that moving forward.
Okay. Hi, Sreshta. Welcome to the interview. Can you introduce yourself and share your background and interests?
Hi, Sainadh. Thanks for having me. I'm Sreshta and I'm pursuing a degree in computer science engineering at VVIT. I'm interested in software development, particularly in the fields of problem solving, front end, cloud computing, and DevOps. Uh, I'm a software background.
Okay. Can you walk me through your experience with cloud-based technologies?
I have worked on several projects that use cloud-based technologies, including AWS and Azure. I have developed applications to the cloud, managed cloud resources, and ensured scalability and security.
Can you describe a situation where you have to work with a difficult team member or customer? How did you handle the situation?
One situation that comes to mind is even when I was working on a project with a team member who had a different work style than mine. We had to work together to complete the project. So, I used to communicate clearly and respectfully with my team member.
Okay. So, how do you handle feedback or criticism on your work?
I try to be open minded and receptive to feedback. I believe that feedback is an opportunity to learn and improve, and I try to use it to refine my work.
Okay. Can you explain the concept of DevOps to a non-technical person?
DevOps is the practice of combining software development and IT operations to shorten the development cycle and provide continuous delivery. It's like a relay race where developers and operations work together to pass the baton smoothly.
Okay, nice. So, how would you communicate technical information to a team member who doesn't have any technical background?
One of my previous projects, I had to explain the concept of containerization to a group of non-technical stakeholders. I used visual aids and simple language to help them understand the concept.
Okay, Sreshta, your understanding of cloud platforms like AWS and Azure really came through, and the explanation of DevOps using the relay race analogy was excellent, simple, and more effective. If I could suggest one improvement, it would be to go a bit deeper to the outcomes of the cloud projects, like how your developments improved performance or scalability. That would make your contributions even more concrete.
You may across to conflict and technical sounds, especially when talking about the DevOps and containerization. Your ability to break down the technical themes using the analogical in the major strength. However, your answers about the team conflict, we felt a little jealousy. Generic. Try to personalize it more. What did you specify to handle the situation? It helps the listen to see your problem solving approach more clearly.
Your calm and structured responses stood out. You are clearly understand not just the tools but how to communicate their value to others, which is essential in DevOps roles. Next time, consider sharing some metrics or performance improvements achieved through your cloud or DevOps efforts. It adds credibility and shows the impact of your work.
Thank you for the feedback. I'm glad my explanations and technical grounding came through clearly. I see now that I need to highlight the measurable results of my projects more and be more specific about how I handle interpersonal. I will definitely work on reading those points to strengthen my business. Thank you.